The differences between a venue coordinator and a wedding planner. Everything you need to know is in this video. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danielle and I am a wedding and event planner. And on this channel, I like to make videos with wedding planning tips and tricks, take you behind the scenes, and just generally show you what it's like to be a member of this mostly sometimes crazy industry. So if that sounds like something that you would love to see more of, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching this over on YouTube, and be sure to follow along over on Instagram if you're checking this out on IGTV. A question that I get asked a lot of times, and not just that I get asked, but that I hear other planners get asked, or I just see online in forums or whatever, is what is the difference between a venue coordinator and a wedding planner? There are a ton. I took plenty of notes about this because I don't want to leave anything out or miss anything, and frankly it's been that kind of week where I need to write everything down. I will preface this entire vlog with that I love venue coordinators, I love working with venue coordinators, I love being a team player. This is not taking a dig at them or saying that they don't do a good job or anything like that. These two jobs are completely different. I don't do what a venue coordinator does, and a venue coordinator doesn't do what I do. You guys voted on my Instagram stories to have me vlog about this topic, but besides that, this is a really important subject to talk about because a lot of times couples will go into a venue and they will be told that they don't need a wedding planner because their venue comes with a coordinator. Not the same thing. Whether it means hiring a planner for month of coordination, wedding day management, or working with a planner from the beginning of the wedding planning process all the way until the end, or anywhere in between, a venue coordinator never ever will be synonymous with wedding planner. Don't make the mistake of not hiring a wedding planner because your venue says they come with a coordinator. The first big difference between a venue coordinator and a wedding planner is right there in the job title. A venue coordinator handles the venue. A wedding planner handles the wedding, the whole thing. That means your venue coordinator is going to be responsible for everything that happens inside the four walls of your venue. Many times that will include catering, so food and beverage would be grouped into what a venue coordinator has to worry about, as well as your basic rentals, tables, linens, chairs, silverware, all that other stuff. Like the basic stuff that you would expect to happen inside of a venue, that is what the venue coordinator is responsible for. See how easy this is? A wedding planner is responsible for making sure that everything is put together. Say you're working with a venue that either doesn't have food and beverage, or they do, but you're dealing with different people. The planner, your wedding planner, is also going to bring all of that together. Of course, a vlog wouldn't be complete unless I had a story or 15 to throw in. Quick story about a venue that has catering, beverage, and the actual venue under 3 separate companies. Depending on your state laws, the people that can pour the alcohol or the liquor, they need to have a particular license. That could mean that your servers that are serving food aren't even allowed to touch the alcohol. I was working on a wedding where the food and the beverage were completely separate. And as much as I was speaking to these people ahead of the wedding day, on the wedding day, approximately 45 minutes prior to the ceremony time, I had to have a sit down with the catering people and the beverage people, aka the bar. The champagne could not be pre-poured. It had to be poured as guests were coming in. The timing that was available to pour the champagne as guests were walking in was not a whole lot. And as much as I gave the beverage liquor people this timing information and asked them if they needed any more ahead of the wedding day, they never got back to me. Everything was fine. Nobody reads emails, whatever. Fast forward to I'm sitting down at a table 45 minutes prior to the ceremony with the catering people and the liquor people, and the liquor people are telling me that they do not have enough people on staff to pour that champagne in the time that I have given them. But the catering company can't lend them staff members, not because they're busy, but because legally they're not allowed to touch alcohol. Which means had I not been there, or had another wedding planner not been there, the catering person and the liquor person would have ended up having to go to, take your pick, the bride, the groom, the father of the bride, but instead they went to me and we all figured it out together. Whether or not you're dealing with a venue that has food, beverage, rentals, everything in-house, or you have a venue with those things in-house but they're separate people, or you just have a venue and you need to bring all that stuff in, you need a planner in order to put all those things together. This is why it's always mind-boggling to me when I hear stories of venues flat out telling their couples that you don't need a wedding planner. The whole reason that this even happens is because there are a fair amount of wedding planners that overstep and try to tell not just the other vendors, but the venue and food and beverage, catering, whatever. They try and tell them what to do and when to do it, instead of just being a team player and putting everything together. It's what I like to call planner pushback, and I have dealt with it for years. I still deal with it. One time I was planning a wedding, full planning. They had the venue and then they booked me and we did everything else. They had actually told me that they told the venue coordinator they would be bringing in a planner, so on and so forth, and that he flat out told them that a planner isn't necessary and they take care of everything there. Okay. The next trip that we took to the venue, I am standing there with my couple, and no lie, this venue coordinator is standing there and looks at my couple and says, I don't know why you need a wedding planner. We handle everything here within the venue. I'm standing right here. Can you see me? There's also a big difference with a venue coordinator and a wedding planner when it comes to making vendor recommendations. Anytime you walk into a venue, they're going to hand you a piece of paper and it says preferred vendor list on it. All you're getting is a piece of paper with names, phone numbers, and websites on them. I get emails all the time asking me who I recommend for stationery, who I recommend for photography. These emails are not coming from my paying clients. They're coming from random people on Instagram or wherever, and they're just basically asking me for my preferred vendor list. No. I never hand that list over even to my clients that are paying me. Why? Because the job of a wedding planner isn't to just say, here you go, here are all the people I love to work with, do the research and everything else on your own. I'm never going to recommend a photographer to a couple that isn't available, is outside their budget, and or doesn't shoot their style. When you just get a piece of paper from a venue that has a preferred vendor list on it, you're not getting any of that stuff. Not only are wedding planners' recommendations basically curated, artisanal and stuff, planners are also doing the outreach to these vendors. They are getting the information, they're getting your questions answered, they are setting up appointments, they are reviewing contracts. None of that happens with the venue coordinator. Piece of paper, recommended vendors, that's it. That's the beginning, the middle, the end. The wedding planner gets you all the other stuff. In addition to making vendor recommendations that are specifically tailored to you, a wedding planner is going to know what else you need that you may not be thinking of. You know another story is coming, right? For example, I was working on a wedding once where the bride already had the venue. That's it. This is what I would call a panic hire. When a couple realizes that they are in neck deep with problems and they need a wedding planner professional to actually help them out. For this particular wedding, they found out after signing the contract, I guess they didn't read, and that's another vlog entirely, that there could be more than one wedding happening in their venue on their wedding date. The only way around this was to buy out the entire day. But even if they wanted to do that, it was already too late because there was a wedding that was happening before theirs. Long story short, there was going to be a 90-minute gap between when the other wedding ended and when their wedding began. My bride had tons of elaborate designs on Pinterest, what she wanted for flowers, all these different places, on the banister, on the ceiling, and all these things that basically can't be done in under 90 minutes. They were panicked about the 90 minutes not being enough time to get the other guests out and their guests in. They weren't even considering the fact that the entire ballroom had to be completely flipped and that the florist was going to have a very small window of time to execute their entire vision. Even though it's in the contract, even though the venue went over it with them, even though my clients signed the contract, this is a detail that went completely over their heads. Hence, as we are planning and looking for florists, I am telling the florist what these people want, and I'm also letting them know just how much time is available. And this is the case with every single vendor. There is stuff in each contract that's going to affect the other vendors, and a planner is going to know what it is because a planner is reviewing the contracts. A venue coordinator is not. One of the more obvious reasons that you would need a wedding planner instead of just relying on your venue coordinator, if you are having multiple locations. So let's say your ceremony is at a church, at a beach, off-site somewhere, and then you have to travel to the venue for your cocktail hour and reception. And then maybe you have an after party someplace else still. In hotel blocks and any sort of transportation and where people are getting ready, maybe you are getting ready at mom's house, maybe you have 2 hotel blocks, all that stuff that's taking place outside the venue doesn't concern the venue coordinator. They don't care, they don't have to, not their job. You won't even see your venue coordinator until you're at where? The venue. Your wedding planner, you will see throughout the entire day. They will be the point person for your guests, for you, for your wedding party, for all the vendors. They will be handling all of that. When the limo guy can't pick you up where you need to be picked up because there is some sort of parade going on Manhattan nights, it's your wedding planner that they are going to call. And if you don't have a wedding planner, they are not calling the venue coordinator. They're calling you. I know there's plenty of you out there watching that heard what you wanted to hear, that if you're not having a wedding with multiple locations, a wedding planner isn't necessary. I didn't say that, but that's what some of you heard. Let me address that with a quick story. One of the things that gets used every single time on a wedding day from my emergency kit is my sewing kit. There is always a button that pops off a tux or something or other that happens. At this wedding, even though we were in multiple locations, the problem did not happen until we actually got to the venue. And that problem was that the strap of the dress on the maid of honor snapped. Snapped like not safety pin fixable, not tape. And this girl has to get up and give a toast, and it's gonna be like the Janet Jackson halftime show. We are at the venue when this happened, and the venue coordinator, nowhere to be found. But it doesn't matter because it's not the venue coordinator's job. Even if your venue provides you with a bridal attendant or 16 bridal attendants, this happened to the maid of honor. This didn't happen to the bride. In fact, when this happened, the bridal attendants were with the bride in a completely different room. My team was in the ballroom with the maid of honor sewing her strap back together so she could get up and give a toast without flashing all of the wedding guests. Along with the fact that a venue coordinator is only ever going to hand you a list of preferred vendors, they're also not going to help you design the wedding. I have heard stories from venue coordinator friends of mine where they have been contacted by a bride or her mom or whomever for help with designing the actual wedding. I know of a time where a mother of the bride asked to see a venue coordinator at 9 o'clock at night in the ballroom because she was bringing in pillows and swatches and linens, and she wanted the venue coordinator to help her design what the reception was going to look like. This wasn't the first time that this mom made that kind of request either. And every single time that she sent an email to my venue coordinator friend, my friend always responded with basically saying she wasn't available. Here are some wedding planners that she personally recommends. And the mom came back every single time with, we don't need a wedding planner. Yes, you do. It is not the job of the venue coordinator to help you design your wedding. It is not their job to give you a curated list of vendors that are correct for you. There are also plenty of times that the venue coordinator you book with a year, year and a half, 2 years prior to your wedding date won't be the same venue coordinator you deal with on the actual wedding day. Versus a wedding planner, you're probably going to wind up with the same one you started with. That is my quick list of how a venue coordinator is completely different than a wedding planner. I really hope that this sheds some light and that some brides are watching this now realizing that even though their venue said they don't need a wedding planner because their venue comes with one, I hope you'll realize that that is absolutely not true and that a wedding planner is part of your entire team on the wedding day, and venue coordinator and wedding planner are not interchangeable jobs. Let me know what you guys think of this video. If there's any planners or venue coordinators that are watching this, please comment down below. Let me know if I missed anything or if you have anything else to share. If you are engaged in planning your wedding, congratulations. Please feel free to drop any questions or comments that you have and I will be sure to get back to you. And of course, if there are any future vlog topics that you would like to see here on this channel, make sure to drop me a note. All my contact info is in the drop down bar below, or if you're watching this on Instagram, you can just hit that email me button and I will be sure to respond. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.